Alrighty, welcome to 5D Transformations. In this video, I just wanted to touch on something that's pretty big when it comes to dealing with narcissism, dealing with people who have narcissism, dealing with narcissistic environments. And the big thing I want to say is you can't play checkers. You gotta play chess when it comes to dealing with people with these characteristics. Because if you play checkers, that's basically you're reactive. You know, they create this cause, you create this effect, and they know that, and you become predictable, and which then makes you easily controllable. The biggest issue I see with empaths, especially in how they relate with, with narcissists, especially how they relate with empaths, is that empaths, a lot of them wear their emotions on their sleeve, and so it makes them very reactive and when it comes to dealing with the narcissist, you know, and it makes them like complain, argue, and things like that. So the difference between, of course, checkers and chess is that chess is a little bit more dynamic. You know, the person takes one move and they expect you to do a certain move, but you got the option to do multiple different moves. And that's what you want to do with the narcissist. You want to be multidimensional in the sense of you don't want to just react to what they're doing. You want to throw them off. Now the question is, how do you throw them off? Well, number one, you can't throw them off from a place of rushing. Like, you can't be reactive. So number one, if they do something, you need to just be observative. You know, you need to be observant. You need to take a second and check in and think. And then from there, already you're throwing them off because you didn't give them the immediate reaction they expected. So now they're waiting to see how you react. One of the best ways to throw them off initially is by ignoring them or not responding to what they want you to respond, acting like they don't exist. That's something that's gonna really piss them off, but that's very powerful. You have to practice silent treatment. You have to practice not dealing with them. You can't reward them with your energy and arguing. You have to really let them feel as though they can't create an effect out of you. That's number one. But that's not where it stops. That's where it begins. Next, they're gonna say certain things that might get you upset. They're gonna say certain things that are gonna trigger you. And the fact that you react, I understand. It's okay because, you know, we're humans. You know, that's things that are gonna happen. You know, generally, you know, we're gonna have moments where we react. But the one thing that's definitely gonna throw a narcissist off is when you don't react the way they expect you to. And that really works for anybody. You know, if people realize that you don't respond the way they want you to respond, that's when they realize they can't have an effect on you. They say something rude and you laugh. You know, they say something that's gonna doubt you and you're just like, that's funny, like whatever. You know, and they're like, oh, well, you think it's funny and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay. Like, here's what you gotta realize, man. It goes back to the basics. Like, you know, it's like, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say, you know, bounces off of me and sticks onto you. I think where a lot of people mess up is they give the narcissist a perspective too much credit. Like, they give it too much energy. They take it too serious. It's like the Joker's like, why so serious? You have to begin to realize that the perspective doesn't even matter. Like the minute, like, it doesn't matter. And it's like, well, I don't want to have to deal with this and that. And they say certain things every day. And it's like, okay, you know, I get it. That's annoying. So at that point, you don't tolerate that in your environment. You don't tolerate that. You don't deal with them. You know, you don't deal with them in your environment. You have to, like I say, I suggest no contact. And if you're in a work environment with one of them, you got to act like they don't exist. It's going to bother the hell out of them. And they're going to try to pull it out of you until you explode. And what better thing to do than to, piss them off, What better thing to do than to not let them get the satisfaction they want? You have to ignore them. You have to realize that they actually don't matter when it comes to whatever you're doing. And I know it's easier said than done when you're in these situations, but I hope I'm a refreshing voice or a like a third party voice to tell you, listen, they don't even matter like to your vision. They're gonna bring some heat towards you. They don't like you not taking them serious, but you have to treat it like you have to treat them like they're not like you would treat a child that wants attention. Only thing is that that's not your job. These are adults, so it's not your job to try to teach them anything or help them. No. Your job is to honestly just ignore them. Now, let's say this person has authority or has a place of authority where you have to deal with them. To be completely honest, I wouldn't even try to play the game. I would get out of that environment. You can't tolerate none of that. It's a no tolerance zone, because if you allow 2% of the narcissist to float in your world, that's too much. That 2% is going to turn into 90% quick. You can't give them a foot in. They got to know that you're not somebody to play with. They got to know that you're not somebody that's going to be dealing with their stuff, not because you're going to fight and beat them up, but because you're just not, like, you have to teach people that if they do the wrong things in your life, they get none of your attention. And the big thing I want to really say, just to pick up on, is just you have to realize that your attention, and I've said this in some past videos, is your attention is the most prized commodity on the planet. Really in the universe, damn near. Like, your attention, is what gives energy to something. Like, when you look at the sun beams its light on us. We exist as a planet. The plants grow. Life exists because the sun makes sure to keep its attention in our direction for long enough in the day to where everything can grow. And in the minute the attention goes away from the sun, like the minute the sun fades out, the life, if it's gone for too long, the life is going to die in the environment. So we need them to come back and give us attention. And that's how I want you to view the narcissist. Like, the more attention you give them, the more they're going to exist in your life. The less attention you give them, they're gonna die out. Like not literally or physically. I would hope not. Or some of you might hope so, but I would hope. I don't wish death on nobody. Unless that's what they desire. I don't wish it though. That's for each person. But when it comes to them, they're not going to be able to exist in your world. They're just going to fade out because they're not getting your attention, and that's what they crave, whether it's good attention or negative attention. So you can't give them neither. And the worst feeling for someone to have, like for some of the people I've talked to in relationships, they say this, that the worst emotion for your relationship partner to have is indifference. If they're really pissed off, at least they're invested somehow. And if they're really happy, then, they're invested. But the worst feeling for your partner to have in a relationship is indifference. Like, at this point, I don't care if the relationship is here. If it's not, I just don't even care. Like, you can just, if you got to leave, please go ahead, and it's all good. We can make it work, and we'll just move forward. At that point, it's like, okay, like, this person's done. So that's the energy they need to feel from you. They need to feel the energy of indifference. And when they realize that now they can't get any more narcissistic supply, and then they're going to slowly find themselves being cut out of your life, and then they'll have to find somebody else to bother, or find another narcissist to live their best life with, whatever. But it's not you, it's not me. It's like, we're not dealing with that. So that's my message to you, is just like, when you're dealing with them, don't play their game. Don't buy in. Don't argue, you know. Every now and then, I get it, you got to prove your point. Like if you have a narcissistic parent or narcissistic boss or narcissistic manager is what I like to say instead of boss, because nobody's your boss. You know, you're your own boss. If you control your own body, I would hope. But like, you know, whether it's your manager, whatever, narcissistic friend, narcissistic brother, sister, whatever, they can't have access to your attention. You have to treat them like it's nothing about them. And they can complain and jump around and blah, blah, blah. And guess what? When they're doing that, that's when you know they're about to run out of steam. It's like a baby that's complaining, you know? How you gonna do it, baby? You gonna give it attention? It's gonna keep crying. Or you gonna be like, you gonna act like it's not there, and they're gonna realize that those old tactics don't work anymore. So with the narcissist, you're dealing with like an adult baby when it comes to emotions. They do everything else like adults, but when it comes to their emotional intelligence, it's more like a lower, you know, it's more immature. So you can't feed it energy. And what I would suggest, as I close this out, no contact is always the best, in my opinion. And if you want to look more into that, I have a video about no contact on the channel, so check it out. Aside from that, make sure to like and subscribe. We got more videos coming daily. We got the Patreon. It's almost completed with all the new videos. Make sure to hop on that. Like and subscribe, as I mentioned. And aside from that, we'll talk soon. Peace.